Well, welcome everybody back to the, what episode is it, 4 of the Subliminal Show. Today I have with me Sebastian. He is a wedding filmmaker and photographer, a coffee geek and aspiring YouTuber. His skills are many and there are very few things that he cannot do. But I'm very excited to just begin to talk about what his dreams are for his upcoming YouTube project, as well as just explore his personal creative journey and just where he finds his growth and inspiration.
Honestly, video is like a super new thing for me. At the same time, like I've been able to, take advantage of some super cool opportunities to work with friends and family, just kind of learning and like being a part of like their special day for like weddings and stuff, which has been super cool. And I've just like, honestly, like from the first time I picked up a camera, I just fell in love with it.
So what kind of began your journey to be a videographer and photographer?
Yeah, so I think it kind of started a long time before I ever picked up a camera. It was when I was, maybe 8, 9, and I heard somebody playing a guitar around a campfire, and I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love the sound of this, the atmosphere that it creates, and I want to be able to create that. I don't care what it takes, I'm gonna learn. So yeah. No joke, I went up to that guy the next day and was like, hey, like, can you please teach me? I was almost like begging him, like, please teach me how to do that because yeah. I want to be able to do it. And he agreed to teach me, so I started learning guitar, and that's kind of where my creative journey kind of started. Yeah. From that, I got into recording music and producing music for a few different people, and thought that was going to be, what I was going to do with my life. And then from there, I ended up kind of picking up a camera, and I was like, oh my gosh, visual art is super, super cool. And there's so many different possibilities and things that you can create with it.
When you're engaging in your kind of creative space, but you also have, normal life responsibilities, you have bills to pay, chores to do. How do you kind of balance those two things?
Honestly, that's something that's like, I think a constant struggle. I know for me personally, it's like, I know I have responsibilities that I need to take care of, and that has to come before what I really want to do. I honestly don't think there's a super good like structure that any one person or like anyone could just pick up and follow. I don't think there's like, you can lay out all the steps and it work out perfectly for everyone. Everybody's gonna be different. For me, honestly, I think it's about getting in the right mindset, because I know that if I'm like taking care of my responsibilities and all the time, like I wish I could just create content, it takes away from me being able to take care of my responsibilities well and do a good job of that. So I think trying to live really where I'm at when I need to be there has been really healthy. I know, like mentally, just being able to take in the moments with people and really be creative with what's around you, and interacting with different people, because there's opportunities everywhere to be creative. It's just a matter of how you see those opportunities.
Yeah, I really like that perspective of being in the moment, being present. I think that's just in and of itself a valuable lesson, even outside of being creative, but being present and with, not only just with the people that you're with, but also just the space is incredibly valuable to be able to just slow down and say, what opportunities do I have here, instead of, trying to seek out what could be, instead of asking yourself, well, what is now? And fun fact for everybody else, Sebastian actually created the very first I guess the theme song was, I guess it was the
That's
intro
right.
song to my very first show.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've got it somewhere. Maybe for a good old time's sake, I'll introduce this show with
Hey.
the song.
There you go. Honestly, that was a while ago.
That was a long time ago. I think that really speaks into, and I think you've kind of had this similar experience of like this creative mindset of we start so many projects and oftentimes just burn out more often than
Yep.
we'd like to, and there's so many projects just left on the shelf, and you're like, well, that would be exciting to go back to, but I'm too invested in my new project.
Yeah, I definitely struggle with like working a full day and then coming home and I'm like, I just need sleep. I just need to rest. Today's just not the day for this, and
Yeah.
end up putting it off, putting it on the shelf, and
Yeah.
waiting on that project until hopefully someday. And lately, actually in the past month or so, I've been trying to get into some sort of set schedule that has really helped me to kind of change that, I think, loss of energy and like the flow as far as creativity goes. And some of the like smallest things, like waking up in the morning and making my bed, has been something huge, because it's this idea of a snowball. And it's like, if you want to be productive, you can't just go into whatever it is that you're hoping to be productive in and just assume you're going to be productive at it because you want to be. You have to set yourself up so you start by making your bed, and then you take care of other responsibilities like in your personal life that are seemingly small. If it's cleaning up the house, whatever it might be. But that builds up and allows you to kind of have a drive already there to push you towards success in creativity. And that's something that I've found to be pretty accurate for me personally, that has made a huge difference.
Having a routine is also 100% necessary, especially for someone like me, of even though I like to be able to have that flexibility, still having a routine that I can get used to and be able to engage in definitely boosts my productivity as well.
To kind of piggyback off of that, something that has really helped, I think, like mindset and perspective, and I don't know, almost like personal reflection, if you will, of who you think you are, who you want to be, and getting drive. I think a big part of that, for me personally at least, comes from doing things that I don't really always want to do. Something like, again, super small thing, but taking a cold shower is personally something that I absolutely hate doing. Like, especially early in the morning, I'm like, I just want a warm shower. I'm right out of bed. I don't, it's uncomfortable to jump into a cold shower when you just woke up. So that's something that I've been like, okay, what if I can train my mind to know, like, I do have power to create momentum, create that drive to be creative when I want to, instead of always just like hoping that it comes when I pick up a camera, or hoping that it comes when I go to write a song, to try to, I don't know, kind of convince myself that I am able to do these things.
All right, so we'll go ahead and switch kind of gears a little bit, because I do want to talk and kind of give you some space to talk about your YouTube channel that you've just created. First video, absolutely beautiful to watch. I definitely see the incredible cinematography and just those skills. I'm just like, wow, that was so enjoyable to watch.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
I'm extremely excited to see where you're gonna kind of take this. But we'll start with what's kind of your desired outcome for your YouTube channel.
I think a lot of it though, as far as like the goal with the channel that I created, I wanted to have a solid foundation that kind of spoke to people throughout all the videos that I put up on there. And something that's really been on my heart is this idea of it not being about me or not about, you know, us or you. That is something bigger than us.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to like mental health, I think a lot of times, I don't know, in our culture, in our society, it's a big thing to, you know, there's this self-love.
Oh yeah.
We have to love ourselves. We have to care for ourselves. We have to like discover who we are and what helps us be better. And it's a lot of this focus on us, which, you know, I'm not gonna completely shoot that down at all. I think it is important to, you know, take care of yourself.
Yep.
But in my life personally, I've found a lot more success in caring for other people and really looking for the needs that they might have that I might be able to fill. It's just brought me so much joy and fulfillment in my own life when I'm genuinely invested in the lives of the people around me, which is something I really want to talk about and focus on, because in, you know, our society where it is maybe it's not always purposefully about us and me, it tends to come back to, oh, I need to work on myself. I need to better myself. So it's all this like looking internally, looking at yourself, and not really being aware of the people around you that are living a life just as meaningful and important as your own. And when you start to see the people around you as people living a life as, you know, vivid as your own, it's like, okay, there's more people than just me, and I can brighten up somebody else's day. So just doing that genuinely has brought me and my life so much joy. And I've honestly like really felt like there's a lot of peace in that, like less anxiety, less depression. Like you're bringing joy to other people by reaching out to them, by caring for them. And when you bring joy to those other people, like genuinely from your heart, it in turn comes back. And I've seen that so much where, you know, just putting a smile on somebody's face like brightens up their whole day.
But like the most valuable thing a person can have is another person. Like just even like research and studies have shown that even if you have one like significant person that you feel like you can kind of give and trust with, like you are automatically set up for success to go forward. To develop those skills that we talked about previously of learning to love and care about others is when you're able to step into their shoes and be able to see, you know, what does their day-to-day life look like, you're able to understand a lot more on how to relate to others. But what kind of inspires you the most?
Just absorbing other people's content has been a super big thing. Whether that be like music, for me has just always like, I don't know, hit me different. Like it's cool to watch videos, and I've learned a ton from, you know, videos, and whether it's like tutorials or just like even movies. It's like, okay, how they shot this and how they lit it was incredible. So I'll like geek out about stuff like that. And then also like going back to music, I've just been really into certain artists who have kind of gone about writing in a story-like way, instead of like your regular like verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, you know, however it's laid out the traditional way. So finding, I guess, like, to sum all of that up, it's about finding content that allows me to just be moved from wherever I'm at to somewhere else. And then taking that same idea and using that to try to create my own content that's similar to that.
Yeah. When we see someone else do something that we like, you know, we can begin to recreate it. And I think one of the weird things, and this is probably a conversation in of itself, is like, you know, this idea of originality, of like, oh, we want to be, you know, original, we want to be different. And, you know, in some ways, like, yes, everybody is different, but also we learn from others by watching what they do. Like, we are very much people who, again, I don't really want to say struggle to come up with our own original ideas, because I feel like that offends way too many people. But I think in some ways, I think that's true of a lot of what we do is just a modification and recreation of what's already out there. And I don't think in any ways that's a bad thing. I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think that's what you've kind of talked about. What are kind of your thoughts on how, like, what is the purpose of growth, of having to work through those pains?
Growing is something that kind of going back to earlier when I was talking about the things that I don't enjoy doing. Like, I think working out is probably the easiest one to kind of pick on here. Is like you're growing your body, right, by working out. And working out is something that your body's going through pain to eventually get to, you know, something. I remember something I really struggled with was certain personalities when I interacted with people. And I was like, I am just going to avoid everyone who, you know, I can't understand their personality. Or I can't understand why they would act a certain way or talk a certain way. I'm just going to avoid those people because that's easy and I can do that. And then it's, you know, I only hang out with people, I only spend time with the people that I understand, that I click with. And I think I just got to this point where I was like, okay, I know that that's not really right. And if I truly do believe that each one of us was created special and uniquely for a purpose, for a reason, and these people might be different than me, then the different is probably something that I need to learn and grow from, instead of just like, I don't really understand, I don't get it, so I'm just gonna kind of push it away. And as I started to kind of go through that process of, you know, learning about those people and, you know, maybe what gave them the perspectives that they have, or the ideas, or the personalities that they have, I started to really, have this like heart change towards people in general. And I started to have a whole new perspective that like was internal and external, where suddenly, instead of like trying to avoid some people or not wanting to be around people, I was like, okay, I want to learn like everything about everyone and like just absorb all of it, because everybody has so much to offer. I think everybody's going through some sort of growing process, and that's definitely like a hard season to be in. Sometimes easier than others, but for the most part, I think growth is something that is, like it should be somewhat idolized in a way, where we want to grow, we want to succeed. So like, what can we do to get there? I think that goes back to working out. Is like, I need to do the things that I don't necessarily want to do to get there, and that's those growing pains that you were kind of talking about, which is very difficult. But I think there's a lot of value in trying to change your perspective and how you see the people around you, the things around you, and just being open to, what each person has to offer.
Being able to just care about people and understand that, there are times and places where relationships will come and go, but knowing that you can always go back to where you left off in a way is an incredible, valuable tool. And I think that really speaks into what we talked about, of the importance of learning and understanding and listening to people. It really does speak volumes when you're able to intentionally listen to the people that are around you, and like Sebastian talked about, just being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and just begin to understand maybe what the world looks like from their perspective, and maybe my sometimes quick judgments against them can sometimes lead to maybe some missed opportunities. But yeah, thank you again for coming on and joining us. I will provide all of the links to find Sebastian in the description below. Don't forget to the good old classic YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do it all, please. As well as, and please head over to Sebastian Zane and give him a subscribe as well. Like I mentioned, you will thoroughly enjoy the introduction video. He may have said that he felt awkward watching himself, but it was very, very well done. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see where this show goes as we continue to have absolutely incredible people on and just be able to listen and learn from people. And as we always say, keep learning, keep playing.